GlitterGirl.
And Keely Burries.
And we're here to talk about how to become a professional performer. And this is a little podcast we're putting together for people out there.
What do you suggest on starting rates? Actually, that's another big question.
What do you suggest on starting rates is the number one question that I get. So first of all, that depends on the area that you're in and what the market will bear. It also depends on what your competition is. So I've had a lot of I've had a lot of conversations with people who have very different opinions, and they're like, well, a performer shouldn't take anything less than $100 because then if they're taking less than $100, then they shouldn't be performing.
Yeah.
I don't agree, actually.
Yeah.
I think we live in a capitalist economy, and the reality of the situation is, and I mean, it sort of sucks for somebody like me because I don't want to take less than my rate. I mean, my current rate is $4.50 for a 10 to 12 minute show, right? But I don't want to take less than that, and somebody like you could totally go out there and underbid me. But it's not worth it for me in my time to take less than what I want.
Yeah.
So, knowing what your number is helps you be clear on what you're willing to do. And the reality is there isn't enough distinction in the marketplace. Consumers don't know enough about what we do to be able to discern who's a good performer from who's a bad performer.
Yeah. I mean, generally it seems like anybody who does something really cool with fire, they're like, oh my God.
Right. The thing is, fire is so oppressive that even someone, this is what I say to my clients, even somebody who's only been spinning 6 months and doesn't even know that many moves can go out there and get hired. I mean, not all students, but a lot of them can just go out there and get a gig.
It's performance.
Yes, because the reality is most people still haven't seen what we do. So anything that you do is going to be impressive.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's unreasonable to go and charge $30 in one instance if that's all you're capable of doing.
Yeah.
That might be an appropriate starting rate. So I would say, I hope that in the Bay Area you should at least, I think, having seen you, I think more than this, but $50 is a reasonable starting point. If somebody's going to pay, they should at least be willing to throw down $50.
Yeah. Well, there's also things probably people want a full-on choreographed performance, then you'd probably charge more
But most people won't know the difference between full-on choreographed performance and not.
I've actually had people ask for full-on a dance, a full-on show, where you have
define full-on show.
Several people performing in a routine almost. Not a routine, but
it just needs to look like one.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. If somebody's not paying you enough money to actually support the amount of time that it takes for you to fully choreograph a piece, beginning to end, that's super tight, then why would you want to deliver that to them? So they may be asking for 3 or 4 performers, but what's important is coming up with a way for the show to flow. So that's where loose choreography comes into play and comes into play well. My own experience is it's more important the interaction between the artists and the audience, the artists each other and the artists to the audience, than it is that the show is choreographed or not. Because most people, and now I'm not saying this is true of everyone, but I'm speaking to the 80%.
Yeah.
Right? Most people, and in this it's probably more like 98%, but most people, even in the Bay Area, still are not discerning enough to know the difference between that's a really awesome, well choreographed piece, and that's not.
Yeah.
And the other thing is when you're, I have been hired for a lot of shows. And I'm not talking about bigger shows or corporate shows. I'm talking about weddings and that kind of thing. I've been hired for shows where the space isn't even that big, where you could do a fully choreographed show. So a lot of places won't even. You may need a 20 by 20 stage for a 2 or 3 person show, and if they don't have that, and that's what your show requires, then you're kind of screwed. Yeah. So part of it is being able to have a flexible enough choreography that looks really tight, but isn't. And will fit in a flexible way in whatever space is out there.
Yeah, that's definitely a space for
and
this
also,
kind of thing.
The other thing is, I think it's really, I believe that it's really challenging today in 2010 for new artists that are getting into performing, and here's why. There's so many people out there like me, or not even like me, people who have been performing for 5 years who are pros or whatever, that it's intimidating. My advice to all of you is don't be intimidated, because we may all be great, that doesn't mean that you're not. Right? So we can all be great together. It's my belief that there is enough business out there, and it's about us all. What'd you say?
I said there definitely is. Right now, it's this whole fire spinning circus arts, it's just taken over. It's one of the biggest things out there right now.
I definitely think that it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think that given that, people should just not worry about what other people have done before them and do what feels right to them. And not worry about what the other competition is doing, because there's always going to be competition. So, like, I mean, when people call me for a gig, it's, you know, they're often price shopping, too. So, I have found for myself, one of the best things to do is to say, what's your budget? Yeah. We can create a show that will work within your budget. We can do anything from a $50 show to a $50,000 show, with anything from one dancer to, I mean, I know enough dancers, I could probably get hundreds of them at this point if we really needed a $50,000 show at Bell Park or something, you know? Like, I'm sure it could be done. So, so it's really a matter of what they're looking for and what they want. Now, sometimes they'll ask for things that are, in my opinion, completely outrageous. Like, they'll want 2 30-minute sets for $100 for 3 dancers each set. I'm like, so my advice to you is don't laugh in their face, and say, oh, well, you know, that's a little ambitious, and that's not what we would normally do. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, so, that's kind of a long time.
I have had people call me up and ask for that.
I think some people don't really
but not for $100, more for like $300 even though. But I think that $300 for even a 30-minute show for 3 dancers is not enough money.
No, I think I've had people think that one performer can just be like just one for like 20-25 minutes. I'm like, the fire does burn out. It doesn't just stay lit. Like,
right, but I mean, one performer could perform for 20 or 25 minutes if you had a safety that was re-dipping for you. Yeah. I mean, you could. You just have to have enough tools to go through it. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.